Hey guys, welcome to Lux Lover Paris. Today's video is all about the cloth and paper leather contoured agenda. I will share my thoughts and impressions on this agenda. I will also let you know if I think they're worth the cost. And of course, I will show you the different inserts that I currently utilize inside of this agenda and how I plan on using it. So if that sounds like something you're interested in watching, I hope you'd consider subscribing to the channel. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you can be notified every time I upload a new video. So without further ado, let's get started. This particular agenda is new to my collection. For those of you that watch my latest cloth and paper planner supplies unboxing, I featured a different agenda in that particular video, also from cloth and paper. And it was actually their caviar leather agenda, also in the personal size. I have since sold that particular agenda to acquire the contoured leather version. And there was nothing wrong with the caviar leather agenda. It's a beautiful agenda. I enjoyed utilizing it for the short time that I owned it. It's just that I much prefer the look of the contoured leather agenda. It's very reminiscent of the Louis Vuitton Epi Leather agenda. And to be honest with you guys, when I made up my mind that I wanted to add another personal size agenda to the collection, I knew I didn't want to spend money on another luxury agenda. For those of you that are familiar with my growing agenda collection, I currently own two of Louis Vuitton's GM size agenda, one in the monogram print and the other one is in the damier ebene print. I also own another personal size agenda from Louis Vuitton in the damier ebene print as well, and the pocket agenda, which was my very first agenda, also in the damier ebene print. So I knew there was no need for me to get another luxury agenda, especially given the way that I'm planning on utilizing this agenda, which is primarily for doctor's appointment and also for me to schedule my auto maintenance appointments and to jot down any notes or any to-dos or reminders from those appointments. And I'm also utilizing it for wellness as well as tracking my meals. So because of the fact that I'm not going to be utilizing this agenda on a daily basis, it didn't make sense for me to spend money on a luxury agenda. So prior to discovering the cloth and paper agendas, I was looking at the Louis Vuitton Epi Leather agenda. And two reasons why I decided not to purchase it. Number one, the cost, and number two, the Louis Vuitton Epi Leather agenda features silver hardware. I much prefer gold hardware. So right off the bat, that was a no for me. So when I discovered that cloth and paper has the contoured leather agenda that is very similar to the Louis Vuitton agenda, it was a no-brainer. The price point was there. I'll go ahead and leave the retail value of this agenda as well as the caviar leather agenda on the screen as well as in the description box for you guys. And also keep in mind that Cloth and Paper is a US based company. So if you live outside of the country, you also have to factor conversion. But even though I had to factor conversion costs, it's still worth the cost in comparison to a luxury agenda or even the Louis Vuitton Epi Leather agenda for that matter. So for those of you that are familiar with the Louis Vuitton Epi Leather, this cloth and paper contoured leather agenda has a very similar texture to the Louis Vuitton Epi Leather. The only difference is it doesn't have the cloth and paper logo towards the front, whereas the Louis Vuitton agenda has the LV initials in the front, and I'm okay with that. Here's a look at the back of the agenda. One thing I must note about this particular agenda as well as Louis Vuitton Epi Leather in general is the fact that this particular material is prone to scratches. So that is something that you should be mindful of. In fact, I'm going to get a little bit closer. I'm not sure if the camera will pick it up, but I have a few minor hairline scratches and I've owned this agenda for a little over a month, but that is expected because of the texture of this agenda. So that is something that you should be mindful of. If you like for your agendas or your leather to be in pristine condition, then I would recommend getting the caviar leather agenda. Let's go ahead and open her up. When you open up the agenda, it features 6 card slots towards the front, and you also have another card slot towards the bottom. And as you guys can see, I place my frequently used sticky notes towards the front pocket so that I can have quick and easy access to them. So the first one that you will see is my appointment sticky notes that I received from the Cloth and Paper February subscription box. I also have the to-do sticky notes, also purchased from Cloth and Paper. Next, we have an inbox sticky notes, and this one was purchased from Point and Hun. And then I have my memo sticky notes, also from Cloth and Paper, followed by the month of March calendar at a glance. And I just wanted to keep the front pocket very minimal and actually store items that I will use on a frequent basis. As I mentioned, the main reason why I opted for this particular agenda versus the Louis Vuitton Epi Leather agenda is because of the fact it features gold hardware. Now, when it comes to the Cloth and Paper agendas, you have two options when it comes to the color of your hardware. You can either get it in gold or black hardware. We have a clear dashboard that I purchased from Element Paper Co. What's great about this dashboard is the fact that you can write on it with an erasable marker. However, I opted to utilize it as a cover to protect the front of my agenda, as well as a cover for my dashboard. And as you guys can see, I opted for a beautiful fashion inspired dashboard that I purchased from one of my favorite Etsy shops. And I'll go ahead and link that shop down below in the description box for you guys. Then we have my inbox system, and I purchased this clear inbox dashboard from Cloth and Paper. And how I like to use this particular inbox dashboard is by placing any reminders, any to-dos, appointments, or anything that needs my quick attention. I'll go ahead and place the sticky note on top of the inbox so that I can either file it later or jot it down in my appointment section. And I added another morning mindset dashboard that I purchased from Cloth and Paper. For those of you that have seen some of my previous planner flip throughs videos, you guys know how much I love and enjoy these morning mindset dashboards. In fact, I do believe I have them in just about every planner that I currently own, and I just love the beautiful reminders that it has on them, and I just enjoy taking a look at them. So then we get into my monthly dividers, and these dividers I purchased from Cloth and Paper. They are the blank glass dividers. And what I did was I added my own divider labels in gold foil. Here's a look at the divider labels that I purchased from May Paper Co. And as you guys can see, you have various topics or subjects, and I utilize a couple of them to fill this particular agenda. As you guys can see, I had also purchased some other divider labels with gold foil from an Etsy shop. Now, I wasn't too crazy about the quality of these divider labels. I much prefer the May Paper Co. quality over this particular Etsy shop. So that was one of the reasons why I did not repurchase the divider labels that I showed you guys earlier, but these are top quality. I highly recommend them. Now, one thing I must note about May Paper Co., they are an Australian-based planner shop. So if you live outside of Australia, expect shipping delays because of the fact that your items have to go through custom. So I had to wait about a month to receive this particular divider label. Now, I also ordered a couple of other items with it, but just expect delays when it comes to your shipment if you don't live in Australia. The very first section that we have in this planner is my notes section. I love journaling cards, and how I use them is by sticking them on the back of my dashboards. So this is a journaling card that I received inside of a Cloth and Paper subscription box. So I went ahead and placed it behind this particular dashboard. Next, we have a ruler that I purchased recently from Cloth and Paper. In fact, I believe this particular ruler was released during their last happy hour. And the main reason I decided to purchase this particular ruler was so that I could add my favorite or my frequently used page flags. In this section, I just have a line note paper from C'est La Vie. And the reason why I wanted a note section in my medical/appointment wellness agenda is simply because when I'm at the doctor's office or if I'm at an appointment, I need to jot down some notes. I want to have access to lined paper. So then we get into my health section, and I also opted for another beautiful medical inspired dashboard that I purchased from the same Etsy shop. And here we have another beautiful journaling card from Cloth and Paper. In this section, I added my doctor's visits inserts that I purchased from May Paper Co. And I'll get a little bit closer so that you can get a better view of the inserts. So at the top, you have a doctor's visit. You have a section to write down the date, the name of the doctor, the reason you had the visit, and any notes. And I love the fact that they included a next appointment section for you to write down your next appointment. And this is exactly what I was looking for in terms of a doctor's visit insert, because I want to get better in terms of writing down my doctor's appointments, any follow-ups, or anything that I need to do beyond that initial appointment. And right behind the doctor's visit insert, I added another insert that I purchased from May Paper Co. And it's titled Last Time I. And what I love about this particular insert is the fact that you can use it however you see fit. So as you guys can see, I do have some items that I want to track the date. So for instance, my menstrual cycle, I want to have quick access when I go to a doctor's appointment. When was the last time I had my menstrual cycle? Prior to having this particular insert, whenever I would go to a doctor's appointment and they would ask me, it was always a struggle to remember the exact date or the time frame that I had my menstrual cycle. So this is going to help me stay a little bit more organized. And that's the reason why I wanted to put this in my health planner. And then I have a couple of other things that I'm tracking. The last time I had my eye exam, I know I don't show my face on camera, but I do wear prescription glasses. And here we have the date. And then the last time I had my dental cleaning, the date as well. And as I have other items that I want to track the dates, I'll go ahead and fill them in. But this is perfect for what I was looking to accomplish. I highly recommend this particular insert because, as I mentioned, you can use it however you see fit. Go ahead and give you guys a better view of the insert. So towards the top, you have your description and then followed by your dates. So I decided to split my health section in two. So I have my doctor's visits, followed by any prescriptions. And as you guys can see, I have a beautiful prescription inspired dashboard with another beautiful journaling card that says life is beautiful. And here I have my medicine log insert that I also purchased from May Paper Co. And you have a section to write down the date, your medication that was prescribed to you, the dose, the time. There's also a section for you to check off whether or not you took your medication. Here's an up close view of the insert. So I have not utilized this particular insert yet since I'm not on any medication at this time. However, as I get medication prescribed to me, this is an insert that I would like to use on a frequent basis. And I also added another last time I insert right behind my medicine log. So next we get into my schedule section, and I have another beautiful dashboard. Now this particular dashboard was also purchased from Etsy. However, it's a different shop than the Clever Planner. I'll also link that in the description box for you guys. And the reason why I chose this fashion dashboard sitting on this beautiful Mercedes is because this is for my auto maintenance section. So as you guys can see, I have these auto maintenance inserts. Now these particular inserts I purchased from Socialize last year. I'm not sure if they're still available. If they are, I'll go ahead and link them in the description box for you guys. The main reason why I purchased this particular insert is simply because I want to do a better job of scheduling my service appointments and tracking them as well. So here you have a section to write down the make and model of your car, the year, your plate number, your VIN info. All of this is very useful, especially if you're going to a new auto maintenance shop. For the most part, I go to the same shop, so they have it on file. But if you have to visit a different shop, these are things that they ask for. You also have a parts info section where you could write down any parts that your mechanic or the shop tells you that you need, as well as the item number. Now, how I like to use this particular section is to write down any maintenance that I got completed. So for instance, last month I took my car to the shop and I had to get my brake fluid flushed. So I went ahead and I wrote that down, the amount and the cost of the labor. So that's how I like to use this parts info. And then as you guys can see, you have sections to write down your service appointment. So here you can write the date of your initial appointment, the mileage on the car. You have a section to write down the next time your service or maintenance is due. And in this section, I also added another one of the last time I inserts. So as I mentioned, you can utilize these inserts as you see fit, because I also want to track maintenance completed on my vehicle. So as you guys can see, I wrote down my last oil change. And as I shared with you guys, I also had to get my brake fluid flush. So I wrote that down. And as I have other maintenance that I need to complete on the car, I'll go ahead and write it down, because same thing. I realize oftentimes when I go to an auto maintenance appointment and they ask me, when was the last time you got X, Y, and Z done? I struggle to remember. So this is going to help me stay more organized. And not only that, sometimes just so happens because of the fact that we can't remember, you've already completed the maintenance on the vehicle, but because you can't remember, oftentimes the shop will do it again when it's not necessary. So that's going to eliminate a lot of that. And here's a close-up of the insert. So next I have a velvet folder that I purchased from Socialize, and this folder actually just arrived in the post. I ordered this particular folder and I was waiting on this piece to come in so that I could film this video. So I'm so happy it came in today. So that's why we have this video filming for you guys today. And as you guys can see at the top, I just added another beautiful freebie that I received with a Point and Hunt order. Here's a look at the back of the folder. And one of the main reasons why I love the Socialize folders is because they feature a slip pocket towards the back of the folder. I like to use them to store deco or journaling cards. I currently have a freebie that was included with my Socialize order that I received in the mail today. So it's a contact info card. And on the front, you have a section to write down your contact information. So for now, I went ahead and placed it there, but I'm sure I'll find another journaling card that will fit perfectly inside of this slip pocket. Next, we have my workout section. As I mentioned to you guys, this is primarily my health, wellness, and meals planner. So in this workout section, I have another beautiful fitness inspired dashboard that I purchased from the Clever Planner. And towards the back, I have another cloth and paper reminder journaling card. And in this section, I have my workout plan, and I purchased this particular insert from Infinite Lotus. And as you guys can see, I started utilizing this in the beginning of the year in January. How I like to use this particular insert is to write down my workout routine or the workout that I did for the day, especially given the fact that all of my workouts are from home. So this helps me stay on track and I can refer back to it to see exactly what I did and what I need to work on. So how I'm using it is on a monthly basis, and this works perfect for me because I work out about twice a week. So this is perfect. I have more than enough space to utilize it for the month. And I write down the different workouts. So here back on January 5th, I did the Chloe Ting body workout. It had 3 sets and it was a 15-minute workout. So you guys get the idea of how I like to use this particular workout plan. Here's a blank insert without my handwriting so that you can get a better view of what you can expect from this workout plan insert. So you have an info section, you can write down the date, the type of exercise, the reps, you have a set section, the duration, and then you're able to check off if you completed the exercise or not. And it just repeats throughout. So this is perfect for me. It's very minimal and it meets all of my workout plan needs. So next we get into my meals section. And as you guys can see, I added another beautiful meal inspired dashboard that I purchased from a different Etsy shop as well. I'll link that one in the description box. But it just says, I love the smell of possibility in the morning. And it has this beautiful woman with a cup of coffee, also a coffee addict. So this dashboard was perfect. I added one of my favorite journaling cards. This section, I have my recipe inserts that I purchased from Cloth and Paper. And I just like to write down some of my favorite recipes, especially if these are meals that I don't cook on a daily basis. I may not remember all of the ingredients or all of the preparation steps. So this is perfect for that section. So that's how I use that section. I don't really use it as a meal tracker per se. It's more so to write down my favorite recipes that I want to have quick access to. So that brings us to the end of my planner. And towards the back, I currently have the credit card inserts that I purchased from Cloth and Paper. And you have 3 sections to add your cards. And what I did was I added these appointment cards that I purchased from Infinite Lotus. And this comes in handy for me to write down the date of my appointment, the address, or any notes that I need to reference. And the reason why I like utilizing these appointment cards, especially if I'm going to a new doctor's office or if I'm being referred to a different doctor, I like to write down the address and I take this with me so that when I am driving, I just input the address in my GPS. So that's the reason why I enjoy utilizing these appointment cards from Infinite Lotus. What I like to do is write down my upcoming appointments. So these 2 are currently flipped because of the fact I already have appointments pretty much set through the middle of the year. And that's a little bit personal, so I'm not going to show that on video. However, I just wanted to show you a blank appointment card. And with all of my agendas, the very last insert is a page lifter. And these page lifters I purchased from Point and Hunt. I'll go ahead and link that shop in the description box. But this is really great because it protects the pages inside of your planner. You have the Cloth and Paper logo. And then in this flat pocket towards the back, what I did was place a cloth and paper appointment notepad that I received with my February sub box. This isn't the entire notepad. I tore a few pages from the pad so that I can place them towards the back pocket of this agenda so that I can have quick and easy access. This particular agenda features a pen loop, and I have one of my favorite erasable pilot pens that I currently have stored inside of this agenda. Overall, I love this agenda. I think it's reasonably priced given the fact that you're getting a genuine leather agenda. If you're in the market for the Louis Vuitton Epi agenda, but the price point isn't what you're looking to spend, I highly recommend giving the cloth and paper contoured leather agenda a try. Their agendas tend to sell out fairly quick. You can put your name on the email or a wait list, which is what I did, and they will notify you once they restock so that you can go ahead and purchase it. My recommendation would be, once you get that email that they are available for purchase, not to wait on it too long because of the fact that people tend to snatch them up fairly quick. In terms of the quality, as I mentioned, I love the quality of this particular agenda. It's very similar to the Louis Vuitton Epi Leather. And the reason I can speak to and compare the cloth and paper contoured leather agenda to the Louis Vuitton Epi Leather is because I also own a Epi Leather bag, and I have compared them side by side, and they are very similar. At a distance, no one can really tell if this is a cloth and paper or Louis Vuitton agenda, because the LV initials on the Epi Leather agenda is very subtle to begin with. So that is one of the main reasons why I highly recommend this agenda. So that is it, guys. That concludes my flip through and thoughts and impressions on the cloth and paper contoured leather agenda. I hope this video was helpful. As always, I thank you so much for tuning in to Lux Paris, and I will chat with you guys on my next video.